Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Shout out to M. Johnston for the last Cash App donation. I got the notification when I turned my phone on this morning and woke up. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my black heart and from the depths of my black mind. Look, I'll tell you all, when it comes down to it, sad as it is, I got to tell y'all that you're not supposed to be able in every society to predict a woman's behavior by how good she looks. We might think, well, that's just a natural thing. Turns out it's not. When you hear those women in the Philippines rating themselves, and we're looking and saying, and I didn't even see all of them, but we're looking and saying, dang, a 3? Nope. That tells us that in actuality, if you don't give women an opportunity to earn certain accolades and status, you ruin them. Here, they are taught and socialized to believe that they're a 10 right off the bat coming out the womb. That's it. I'm a 10. 10 out of 10. If I was born a boy, but I changed into a woman, I'm a 10 out of 10. So what? That's what they're taught to believe. And we guys are told to believe the same thing. Didn't start off like that in the Philippines. I saw a Instagram comedy video of a guy grocery shopping in Miami, and he was like just trying to grocery shop Miami, and all these women are walking around with BBLs. And here's the thing, though. I could tell the attitude of these ladies. One, because they're willing to participate in this comedy skit, and two, they got BBLs and they were willing to show them the cameras. And we already know in the West, a woman can't get any enhancement and not get an attitude. She's just not capable of that. You give them a BBL, take the fat out the stomach, put it in the backside, and what kind of attitude are they gonna have? They can't keep the same attitude they used to have before. Anyway, here's the thing that's important, and that is that when I mention this, I mention how ridiculous it is that we even can rightfully predict a lady's attitude by her appearance, because they believe in behaving as badly as their appearance will allow them to get away with. That's an intellectual statement. And they're going to come in and try to shame. If they hear me say it, they'll come in and try to shame me. The issue is, what they want is for me to doubt my own intellect and doubt my own sanity. Sisters have been doing this to brothers for the longest, gaslighting, trying to get you to doubt your own intellect and sanity, because they already don't value your intellect. They actually hate it. See, we come from an anti-intellectual culture, but where does that anti-intellect get its reinforcement and its enforcement? Oh, I know. It ain't brothers. Sisters have a problem with brothers and intellect. And if you'll notice, when you come with something that's going to help young black boys to achieve, they got a problem with it. If it's going to help young black girls to achieve, they're fine with it, but they're going to turn around and say something about the lack of men that have achieved the same thing. You can't win with them, we already know. But if you look at just regular normal black men who have a medium and normal intellect, you're already slated for celibacy and earmarked. It's just that you kind of blend in so they don't walk around pointing the finger at you and raising their voice and telling you this all the time. You become an obviously intellectual black man, and that's when they raise their voice and tell you that you are now earmarked for celibacy. Also, if you speak out, that's another way, of course. Speak out against the ratchet Isha, the racial betrayal, things like that. Now you are loudly and proclaimedly earmarked for celibacy. And you're weak if you get a woman of another background, too. So that's the end of it. That's the gist of it. And that's all there is to it. You were not supposed to have anything to say. You were supposed to fuck the shuck up and just work and keep trying to appeal to them and never succeeding. I've also told others this, but it wasn't really online that I said it. I think I said this in person to some other guys. The tradition of Western black anti-intellectualism, which is maintained by the hyenas and the hyenocracy, is only being challenged on one front. It is being challenged only at this point by the Black Manosphere. Now, the SYSBM, many of them have stated that that is not Black Manosphere, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to include them together because of what I'm talking about they've got in common, and that is disenchantment with loyalty to the hyenocracy, internationalization of our awareness and passports. And then when you add these things together, what else? Their willingness to challenge the anti-intellectualism of the hyenocracy. Their willingness to challenge the notion that real black men don't sit inside studying code or anything else that takes that much brain power. I remember hearing when I was younger, real N-words don't speak Spanish because I had learned to speak enough Spanish. I remember being in ninth grade, being a freshman, and talking with some of the students from South America that were with us. I was practicing Spanish with them. Ninth grade was when I began to learn the corrections to mistakes I had made years before that nobody corrected. That was ninth grade, so I was talking, and then when we were done talking, I just happened to stop talking, and I looked straight ahead of me, and there was a brother named Derek looking at me, just looking with a strange expression on his face, looking at me through the top of his head. You know that look. Now I was on the bleachers, and I was a little bit above him, but he had the top of his head tilted towards me, looking at me like he was trying to summon a demon for me or something. And I said, Derek, what? You ain't no nigga, man. Don't even try it. What did you say? You ain't no nigga, bro. You told us you black, man. Real niggas don't speak Spanish. Oh my God, Derek, did you? Never mind, Derek. I don't have time to educate you and school you right now. But that ain't true. And that was what he said. Real N19s don't speak nothing but English. What are you, nuts? Oh, like the first one of us ever brought into the Americas got off the ship speaking English. Oh, man. He was raised by the hyenocracy. Nice guy otherwise. We never had any problems or anything. But you see that mindset. Now, if a real N-word don't learn no other languages and a real N-word doesn't learn coding or anything else, according to the hyenocracy, that's what's up. That's what we're dealing with. And nobody is challenging this imprisoning idea anymore except the Black Manosphere. There are two things I wish I had found when I was younger. One, I wish I had known that Islam was true at a younger age than when I found out. I also wish that there had been a Black Manosphere when I was younger. And I wish that I had found it before I did. I'm sure that a lot of others, it's the same. It's going to be the same for a lot of other brothers. And that's why I say that when you know some young black boys somewhere, and ain't nobody putting him up on no kind of game except his mama and auntie and grandmama are telling him the usual BS, lying to him about what the hell it takes for him to be picked. That you should not volunteer to mentor him to the satisfaction of his mother and auntie and grandmama, because if they're satisfied, you ain't doing it right. But that you should still let him know about the black manosphere. And if you send them to me, they'll figure out what Islam is over time, I'm sure, but we gotta let them know about the black manosphere. Because if they're not exposed to it, they're still going to grow up like we did, exposed to, not only lied to about what these ladies even want, but and therefore deceived into becoming exactly what these women don't want until they want to use someone. But additionally, they will be exposed to the anti-intellectualism that will cripple them from even thinking about this in the first place. Because let's be honest, growing up in the community, you were taught to not even think too much. I came up in a Huxtable neighborhood, and to a certain extent I was. You can imagine what these young brothers coming up in some of the poorest zip codes are being told. In any case, thank you for listening. And as always, black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power just because they don't like it. And black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. Thank you again for flying with me on Jet Black Airways, where jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with me till the wings and the wheels fall off. And don't forget to punch the Cash App button on your way out the aircraft after this flight. Gender, justice, forever.